I think the scores were pretty high the last game that was played on it. So hopefully we can bowl well first up and then chase them down.
And obviously you were here last week. Does that play psychologically into favour coming back so soon?
I wasn't here, so it was great. So now it's a very different team, different format, so I don't think it plays a huge role.
And team news for Somerset, any changes?
We've got one change, I believe. Craig Overton's out and Jack Brooks is back in.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time. Wish you all the best. Simon, toss lost. Change much?
Yeah, we probably would have bowled first as well. We know they like to chase, and we probably would have backed ourselves to bat second. But as is T20 cricket, you just got to play the cards that you've been dealt, and not too fussed that we're batting first. I think we've done that well at Chelmsford in the past, so hopefully we can put on a good total.
And in terms of team news for Essex, any changes for us?
Same team that went out against Middlesex last night.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck tonight, Simon. Thanks for your time. Well, that concludes the toss. Somerset have won the toss. They will bowl first. Now, if you keep your eyes on the big screen, we'll have a look at exactly how Essex went yesterday when they visited Lords.
Now, that looks the better option for Lawrence. He's hitting with the spin. There's a deep mid-wicket back. Lawrence tries to access the offside on this occasion. Good from him. Gets that one away as well. Huge shot into the grandstands. Massive from Lawrence. First 6 of the innings for Essex. Beautiful shot. Wow. Mind your front teeth in the front row of the grandstand. Hope they had their eyes on that one. Up in the air. Higgins holds on. Oh, it's beautifully played by Lawrence. Tees off down the ground for 4. Well, this time he does get hold of it. And how far does that keep going towards? Huge. And they're bisected for the last ball of the power play. It's there on the sweep. And wanting to get in under the act is Pepper. Oh, that's a really good shot from Pepper again. He can go straight to backward point, and Higgins takes the catch. Carbon copy. Pepper launches that one over deep backward square. That would have been a wide. It was a little bit too wide though from Higgins, and that allows Pepper to get it backward. Make that 12 off it so far. Launched into the grandstands. Anderson goes wide on the crease. The ball goes wide on the crease and goes down to deep third. A stunning catch by Holman. Now he's gone for the big one and he's missed it. Drop short for Sams to rock back and hit. Now that goes as well. Ball back on the onside. Goes up in the air. Goodness me, he's got all of it. Wow. Now it goes the other way. Straight down the throat of deep square. There's nobody back with the deep cover, so the reverse sweep's big here for Sams as well. Instead he backs away and gives himself room down the grounds. Now, did that go? 4 runs, says Holman. Sams 57 from 21. Goes for it again. Higgins. Oh, it's just cleared him. Oh, hit straight back to him. Well done, Fernandez. He holds on over the offside field. No, he was going for stand and deliver. He'll just get a couple here down to long off to finish. Essex 237 for 6 off their 20 overs. There's some respectability for this one, off the mark with a 6 for Eskenazi. Same again, bigger on this occasion though. Great shot by Eskenazi, gives himself room, accesses the offsides. Gives himself room. Oh, brilliant. Bowls him. Eskenazi makes the move again. There you go. That's what he's been looking for a while. And the margins for Middlesex, they are a long way behind. Here's Harmer. That helps. Reverse for 4. Launching is Higgins, and launching it for 6 into the grandstand. Tries to go again and does so. There you go. It is a short boundary. Rain starting to fall, actually. It's turning around the square leg umpire to look at the scorer's box. Middlesex need boundaries here. They're not going to get it that way. Higgins goes deep mid wicket, takes the catch. Oh, Holden goes for the reverse to try and take on the short boundary. Through caution to the wind. Oh, that's out! Oh, big appeal, and there it is! Napier does the hat-trick! Will it be 4 and 4? Yes, it will!
Absolutely incredible. I can't believe what I'm seeing here.
And Graham Napier.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Cloud County Ground as we get set for another Vitality Blast contest. As you can tell, this is a bit different though. This is first against third, with the table topping position to the winners of tonight's game. And as you can tell from that video that we've just played, we've got a very special guest alongside me. I'm delighted to welcome, well, I know he balks at the Essex legend tag, but he's a man that everybody seems to know around here. Graham Napier. Napes, welcome back to the Cloud County Ground. I know you've just been on the square. Friends reunited out there?
You know, it's been far too long. 5 years, I think I've worked out, since the last time I came. So it's been about 5 years since I came to the club. Certainly to watch a T20 match. And,
really?
Oh God, you're trying to catch up with everyone in the space of 5 minutes. It's amazing to see some people and see the pitch. Pitch looks like a belter.
Does it?
Absolute belter.
It's the same track that they... Oh, I mustn't use that because Stuart Kerrison will tell me off. It's the same pitch that they used on Friday in that last win, and it's a hybrid pitch. So it'll be interesting to see whether it plays in a similar style. As you look around, Napes, I mean, nothing much has changed, is it?
Better floodlights.
Oh, okay, fair point.
When I last played here, the floodlights weren't quite as good as they are now. I'd like to see what it's like under the lights later on this evening, if we get to that point, because it's still quite light in the evenings. Yeah. But yeah, when I last played, there were pockets where it was really dark, and if you were fielding, you lost the ball, and just hoping that it wouldn't come your way.
Obviously, there's an anniversary of sorts which we're going to be talking about all through the night. You know it's coming, and it is something that everybody around seems to know. I was there when. I mean, it must have been an absolute blessing in so many ways in your career, because you're from a profile point of view, that 152 not out just boosted it, didn't it?
Well, obviously things get better with age, don't they?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
If I had £1 for everyone that was there that match, there's more than the 7,000 that were actually in the ground. No, joking aside, one of those nights, it did make my career. You may have read about it, but at one point during that season, at the beginning of the season, I was having to look outside of cricket as potential work, because I didn't know where I stood within the dressing room, and if I had an opportunity to play, or so I was looking at outside careers of actually playing cricket, and then that innings just press the reset button and start again.
Yeah.
And it led to the opportunity to go to India with the IPL and play out there for the Mumbai Indians. Only one match, but it was a game, and
it's on the CV.
A great experience to experience cricket in India at that level, which is just, again, crazy. So yeah, good to come back to Chelmsford. Good to see it looking so good.
Yeah, and so many people with big smiles on their faces when they see you around, and it is really good to see you back here. Now, I don't know how much you've been able to keep tabs on the Eagles, what they've done this season, and indeed what Somerset have done, but the contest for top of the log is so important. We're just moving into the second half of this Vitality Blast campaign. From what you've seen out there, you saw Somerset won the toss, they've decided to bowl. From what you've seen on the pitch, does that surprise you, or would that be what you'd go for?
I think looking at Essex's results so far this season, they'll be happy to chase. They're a good chasing side. On that pitch, home advantage of knowing in-run chases where you can score. It's a small ground, but still you've got to score runs, and knowing where the pockets are, shorter boundaries, which end to target. I think, definitely favouring a run chase tonight for Essex.
Be interesting to see, won't it? Again, talking to Tom Abel, the Somerset club captain. I know he's not the white ball captain now. Lewis Gregory's retaken that authority, that role. But it was interesting to just chat with Tom about the fact that, again, we've got this red ball, white ball thing going on. The domestic game seems to have to endure in so many ways. It wasn't that long ago that Somerset were here in the county championship and Essex win by a big margin. Do you think that plays into the psyche of either side tonight?
Probably not, because county cricket moves so fast. 1 week you're playing championship, next week you're playing T20, back to championship. So any sort of lingering thoughts of Somerset's loss here, I think would have gone. And with both sides' form, it literally, you're only as good as your last game, and 5 wins on the trot for the Eagles, puts them in good stead.
Yeah, well, Somerset lost their last game at home to Taunton on Friday night with the big boys Surrey in town, so it'll be interesting to see how they look to bounce back from that. You can see the teams coming through on the bottom of your screen. Just the one change for the visitors. No, Craig Overton, he's been rested, so the last man on that list is a certain Jack Brooks. The headband warrior is back in town for Somerset, so he will be looking to open the bowling, you would think, with Matt Henry. No change from the Essex Eagles point of view, so that means Dan Lawrence and Feroz Kushi will be striding out to the middle here at the Cloud County Ground. It's going to be a very interesting matchup with many of these guys. Now, some of you may just be joining us for the first time, so here's just a reminder of some of the laws of the game.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
fly like an eagle.
Our club has always been about the people.
And the impact we have.
We create opportunities.
We dare to dream.
About what we can achieve together.
We aim to entertain.
And we deliver results.
Our teams inspire our community.
T20 game now?
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a bowler these days.
Funnily enough, they said that 15 years ago.
Watching them bat now, they literally score 360 degrees. There were one or two players who could do that. And now every batsman is pretty much expected to be able to hit the ball over the keeper or hit the ball down the ground. I only had one option, down the ground or slightly leg side. But we won't
well, yeah. I mean, I watching back, as I did this afternoon, because trying to get it back in the front of my head, I felt sorry for two people. In fact, I felt delighted for one of them, Robin Martin-Jenkins, who got 4 overs for 17 before you come in pretty much. But then James Kirtley, who went for a bucket load at the end, and I'm sure is still in therapy. So, yeah, you had sympathy for those guys.
No sympathy for them whatsoever. They're the opposition. It's a harsh game. This game. I've been on both ends of it as a batter, trying to hit everyone out the ground, and as a bowler, disappearing. Yeah. And to be a bowler now, it's tough. You know, you've got to have a whole box of tricks in your armoury, and also sort of try and read the batsman and what they're trying to do.
the mental resilience has to be so strong, doesn't it?
Well, again, when I started, everyone thought 6 and over. Well, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? 6 and over. These guys, 8, 9 and over is acceptable.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah, it's wickets. Definitely crucial. Dot balls, I think, as well. You look at the analytics of bowlers now. The more dot balls you are, the more chance of getting a wicket.
Yeah, I mean, again, looking back at that innings, and it was 15 years ago in 5 days' time, so there is a kind of anniversary going on here with the big man. The power play, at the end of that power play against Sussex, you were 35 for 1. Now that would be failure, as you say, in the modern game. That wouldn't be a good score, but suddenly it changed, of course.
Yeah, and that's what this place does at Chelmsford. You can be behind the start as long as you've got wickets in hand. You build the platform, and from there, as long as you've got wickets in hand, you can keep going. You've always got batters coming in with the ability to keep going. And look at this squad now. Essex have they've got every single batter and bowler in there can keep scoring runs and having a strike rate at least 150, 170 up to 200, and it only needs one of those players to come off and then someone else to play an anchoring role around them.
And the Eagles have a very strong batting lineup right now. When you've got the likes of Snater coming in at 10, not known as a batsman, I know, but he can wield a fairly lofty willow as and when required, and those are valuable runs when you're setting a target, setting out now.
Yeah, and as I said, build the platform. Good start. Probably they're aiming at least 60 off the first 6, maybe 1 or 2 wickets down, and then into the next phase of the game and keep scoring and trying to keep that strike rate up as much as they can, and get the runs per over up. Because immediately, if you're walking out to bat in a run chase, knowing you're going at 8s and 9s and over, it's tough.
Oh yeah.
And then Chelmsford's one of those grounds where you get wickets under when that sort of twilight. Get a couple of wickets when we're bowling later on tonight, and put the pressure on them. Suddenly 8, 9 becomes 10, 11. Before you know it, they're right behind the rate.
And it's ramping. And Somerset have got a history of struggling, of chasing at 190 plus. I think that they lost 4 games last season, and 5 of them, I beg your pardon, and 4 were chasing 190 plus. One of them semi-final against the eventual champions Hampshire. So it'll be interesting to see if the Eagles can set them a decent target. And we know they've been in good form setting targets of recent. Whether Somerset have got it away from Taunton, it's going to be a fascinating encounter, this one. Let's go pitch side and watch the teams coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2 umpires to the field.
Set. Looking to see which way Somerset are going to work to open. Looks like they're going to open from the river end with Jack Brooks, the man who hasn't played for Somerset since April in the Championship. Had a 2-week loan spell at Notts when he played a couple of T20 games, short loan at Worcestershire as well. But coming in this evening for Craig Overton, who's been arrested. Peter Siddle, of course, out injured. Sids, if you're watching, good day, mate. Hope you get well soon. Jack Brooks about to take the first ball through.
Interesting there, immediately a bit of swing for Jack Brooks. Generally, these white balls, once they've been hit once to the boundary, stop swinging.
Be interesting. They're playing on the same track that they played against Glamorgan on Friday, so it's a hybrid pitch. Throws Cushy. That's a good opener from Brooks. Jack Brooks now, what, 39 years of age. I don't think you quite played against him, Napes, but...
Oh, I played against Jack, definitely.
Did you?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
Big character in the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he's a good cricketer, good solid cricketer, knows what he can do, sticks to his limitations as a bowler.
Cushy using his feet, Brooks seeing him coming and just keeping him to a single. Dan Lawrence obviously went very well at Lord's yesterday with that 53, but it's been noticeable to see how Lawrence has got not frustrated but very frenetic in the opening over or so. First T20 game of the season against Hampshire, he tried to, well, looked like he was trying to finish it in the space of 6 balls, and yesterday was hacking away until he settled himself in, taking a fly in the eye, I think, judging by that reaction. But obviously a very impressive performance in the end against Middlesex. It'll be interesting to see how he tries to start now with this half an over against Jack Brooks. Yeah, you see that swing again, and Lawrence saw it and just worked off it to move that ball through point for 4. Obviously the news of the impending Surrey move is very prominent in the fans' minds at the moment. But Lawrence doing a good job for his team, as he always said he would, and nobody really expected anything different.
Yeah, he's a very good professional, and he'll want to do well this season for the club. He'll want to finish this with a trophy under his name and good memories, like any player would really. When they decide to leave, you want to leave on a good note and have the fans remembering you for what you can do.
Sure. Cushy slams one wide. There's a man underneath it. Cushy goes early again. Out for 1. Out for 7 last night, and Cushy falls in the first over. Somerset with the first wicket. Jack Brooks picking up an early reward. See a replay of that. You see Cushy again using his feet, slicing at it. And that is a good catch. I think that's the captain. I think that's Lewis Gregory. Slams one wide. There's a man underneath it. Cushy goes early again. Easy at all, coming into the sun, keeping his eye on it and snaring his man. So an early appearance for Michael Pepper.
Essex, number 19, Michael Pepper.
Napes, we were talking about the difference in batting. This is a highlighted man of a 360-degree batter. Has so many different options in his particular armoury.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of him bat, but what I have seen, he does hit it all round the park.
Lawrence gets an outside leading edge on that. Linda Mervo with a shy at the stumps, but Lawrence picks up the single. Seems to have a more balanced viewpoint, Dan Lawrence, in the opening exchanges. Let's see what Michael Pepper does. Graham Gooch was with me on Friday and said Pepper always tries to ramp first ball. Lo and behold, he did and got a golden blob because they caught him behind. So.
Well, hopefully Somerset aren't watching this or listening in.
No. Well, he doesn't try and work that one. Thankfully, it is Matt Henry opening from the Hayes close end. The Kiwi internationals, a new boy in the Somerset ranks this season. Signed a 3-year deal. Of course, had a couple of spells at Kent, so knows all about this game. Pepper tries to mount the charge, but once again Michael Pepper falls. This time it's second ball. Good catch by the wicket keeper, but Pepper goes, and once again Essex will have to work their way out of early adversity.
Yeah, they're going to have to sit in here, I think. Just looking at the ball here, Pepper's just given himself some room to hit over extra cover and caught the edge through to the keeper.
Yeah, when you've got an international test bowler like Matt Henry, giving him the early charge is not going to discomfort him, shall we say, and knew just where to put it. Robin Das out in the second over, 2 wickets down inside 9 balls for the Eagles. Been there before, of course, the last innings against Glamorgan. They lost 2 players inside the opening over. 7 for 2. Well, it's a matter of ignoring the scoreboard and just getting themselves in, as Graham said. It's a reset situation. Henry to the new man. Oh,
that's a fantastic shot. Just leant into it, and that's all you've got to do early on here is just lean into the ball. If you pierce that inner ring, it's 4 runs. The outfield's so far square of the wicket, short straight. I think now just requires some cricket shots. You don't need to be too innovative. Just play cricket shots, hit down the ground, hit with the pacers on the ball. Both these bowlers have got a bit of pace, and use that fast outfield.
Henry to the new man.
Oh, that's a fantastic shot.
Block drive from the young man. Matt Henry using this pitch.
Yeah, the early signs. It looks like it's got a bit of pace and bounce to the pitch.
Yeah.
I've never actually played on a hybrid pitch, so
have you not?
No. That was before, after I retired, that they installed them. So the pace is on the ball. You just got to use it.
There's Paul Walter, just weighing things up. Next man in, of course. Lawrence just working it away on the leg side. And this is where the experience of somebody like Dan Lawrence has got to come to the fore. Got most of the T-shirts in T20s, of course, in various colours, and the 100 as well. I think he's going to be captaining in the 100 this season. So, interesting to see. Brooks to continue. Again, Lawrence just doing the chassis down the wicket. Simon Harmer just mulling over what he's seen in these first couple of overs. Again, no sense of panic because all the teams are so experienced now in this format that you can always have plan A, plan B, plan C to come back from whatever scenario you're in.
It goes down the whole alphabet at the moment.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's just settling in, find the pace of the pitch, find the bowling.
Lawrence gets the baseball shot out. We'll pick up a couple.
Yeah, looking at boundary, that side, coming in from the river end, the hitting out towards the leg side is by far the biggest part of the boundary. So they'll probably look to bowl short into the pitch. They look to bowl short into the pitch and make the batters score on that leg side into that bigger boundary.
Oh, Lawrence skies one. Who's getting underneath it? Safe take from Lewis Gregory. The skipper has 2 catches already. The Eagles have lost 3 wickets inside 15 balls. And this is going to be a reset situation for Essex right now. Plenty of time still on the board. But the top 3 have all fallen for 15 runs. Oh, Lawrence skies one. Who's getting underneath it? Safe take. Great take from Lewis Gregory.
It's not easy in that sky.
No, that's the steepler, isn't it? That everybody practices and practices, but when you actually get to do it in game situation, it's a different matter. Well, Paul Walter has been practicing and practicing in the nets, and now he's out, little and large for Essex right now, with plenty to rebuild in this scenario, with Jack Brooks having taken 2 for 7 in his 10 balls thus far.
Be interesting to see if Brooks pitches the ball up now, because the leg side to the left-hander is far shorter, unless he wants to test Walter early on. It's quite a long way to get the ball up.
Just looking to see whether Lewis Gregory has actually hurt himself in taking Lawrence's wicket. Just looking to see what the numbers and whether 12th is on early doors. Brooks to Das. It's a very successful couple of overs, reintroduction for Jack Brooks. A couple of early wickets and just the 8 runs conceded, and pretty much everything that Somerset could have wanted from their new man, should we say? New old man, if that's the right phrase.
Yeah, he's come in and he's put them in a strong position early on. So it's now down to these 2 batters to see out the power play and then look to build a total from there.
Tom Kohler-Cadmore looks to have taken on the captaincy duties, so presumably Gregory did hurt his hand in the taking of that steepler from Lawrence. Paul Walter now facing Matt Henry. 16 for 3. Not good reading for Essex fans right now. Henry to Walter. Been fascinating to see Paul Walter this season, just building his confidence both with bat in hand and ball, and certainly his exposure in the 100 recently has helped that confidence, particularly with his bowling. I think he was leading wicket taker in that particular tournament, and now there's no worries for him coming into a scenario like this. He's quite happy to just take it on.
Yeah, in my last couple of seasons with Essex, he was the youngster coming through.
Oh, was he?
And he always had the ability to bat, and he's just grown and grown in confidence as the seasons have gone on. And it was great to see him bowling, because he didn't do much bowling last year for Essex, and then he went to the 100, and suddenly he was this bowling sensation. So maybe it's something Essex have missed out on in the past, but now they've got it as an added bonus now in him as a cricketer.
Matt Henry just taking a bit of exception to Robin Dass's running line, but there wasn't much the Essex batter could do there, I don't think. But it's a very impressive opening salvo from the Somerset bowlers. Henry and Ben Debenham just having a laugh at that one. Beautiful day here in Costa del Chelmsford. Apart from a bit of rain yesterday, it has been wall-to-wall sunshine.
Yeah, the groundsman Stuart Kerrison has done well to keep the green grass.
Yeah. Das picks up and sends Matt Henry to cowshot corner. It's unorthodox, but it's valuable runs at this point in time from the youngster. 21 years of age, and number 21 from Somerset just ruining that particular parlay. Das picks up.
Yeah, he's just picked up with a little bit of length.
Das picks up. So quick on his feet, Das. Getting back in the crease. Was that a chance?
That looked close if it had hit.
It did, didn't it? So 4 overs done, 21 for 3 now, Essex, having been put in by Lewis Gregory. Thinking back to that game in Taunton, the 4th match for Essex back at the beginning of the month, and it was Essex who won the toss and put their hosts in, so a sense of deja vu. Now, is Brooks going to go into 3rd over? Looks like he is.
They might, as he's so old, they might try and squeeze all 4 throws out. I'll be a bit sus if they then bring on another 12th man and take him off the rest of the game.
You can say that sort of thing. I get told off for that. Brooks to Walter. Well, Walter picks him up and sends him out to the flats.
He didn't even bother running for that one, did he? He just stood still and watched that.
Well, you know that. As soon as you find it in the middle, it's the sound that comes off the middle, and you know when you sent it out.
It's a feeling. Well, you don't feel it when you hit it out the middle of the bat. It just everything goes, and there's no feel in the hands. It's just crunch as the ball hits the middle of the bat,
sweet spot.
And then you like watching it hit those flats over there on the far side of the ground.
Paul Walter, renowned for his 6-hitting prowess, already sent 13 maximums. That's number 14.
There's one thing the umpires have here is a lot of spare balls.
Well, I'm sure on that. Oh, mistake. Of course, lots of sympathy from the Chelmsford crowd for Ben Green. Yeah, that day, 16 sixes. I mean, it was a world record for a while, wasn't it? Until a certain Chris Gale decided he was going to have a bite of it.
Yeah, managed to have a world record for a few years, and then he decided to blast it away. And then I think Ben Stokes has done it now in the Championship as well. So those 2 little records I had of both formats have both disappeared.
Well, you've had them at some point. That's the crucial thing. I think the river can probably look like a ball pit after the end of that game. Brooks looking for that Yorker. Das taking it on the full.
Yeah, it was quite clever that he dropped mid on out straight away and pitching the ball up looking for that Yorker, just bowling to defending his bowling really with a good field.
Walter goes straight and hard. It's another boundary, and Paul Walter slipping into gear seamlessly. 13 off 8 for the big man. Walter goes straight and hard. Walter goes.
Picked that up again. That's hit the flats high up.
Wow. Well, the decision for Jack Brooks to go into his third over may not appear to be so wise right now.
Certainly bowling back of a length on this pitch into that short boundary. It's just stood up for Paul Walter and he's clubbed that into the flats.
You've got to go tall to get past tall Paul. Block ball to finish off, but that's an expensive over. 18 off it. 5 overs done now. Essex beginning to get a little movement on the scoreboard. 39 for 3 for the home side. That's happy to play the support role now. If Walter starts getting some momentum on the scoreboard, then they will look to rotate and let the big man get strike whenever possible. First appearance of the Scottish seamer Josh Davey. There he is. He's taken 3 wickets in his last 3 T20s. Das picks that up. Almost looked like he picked the wrong length there, that he was going to hit straight, but then when it was a bit shorter he had to adjust and send it through the leg side.
He's just worked that using his hands. That's bat speed and strong hands hitting that through mid-wicket over the top. Yeah, it seems obvious that Essex are really targeting that short side. I think that's where they'll look to score a lot of their runs tonight.
Change of field for the visitors. Going out the cow shot corner. Yorker from Davey. 32 years of age now, Josh Davey, so plenty of experience in this format.
What I like about this part of the game is you've got left-hand, right-hand combination. Yeah. Difficult for bowlers to settle into a rhythm, especially if they keep rotating the strike the way they have. If it's not going for a boundary, they're looking for a single.
Davey to Walter. Walter goes high. Has he got enough distance on it? May just have got lucky on that one. For 6, I think it went. Saw itself over the boundary. Yes, it has. Not sure whether Paul Walter knows you're here, Graham Napier, but this is significant striking from the big man. Look at one point like he was going to reach. Just take a look. Just getting over the boundary. So Tom Abel thought he had a chance there when it went up. Has he got enough distance on it? May just have got lucky on that one. Come back from Davies. Squeezed out for the single. One ball left, 12 off the over thus far. Last ball of the power play. Just doesn't pick up all of that at all. So 52 for 3, Essex. That's a fairly good recovery, having been 15 for 3, I think, halfway through the third over. They'll be satisfied with that.
I think they'll be very happy with that situation now. Sort of at the beginning of the game, they probably said, as I said, they'll be looking at 60 for 2, 50 for 3, one more wicket than maybe they wanted, but they've got themselves into position. You know, par score here must be what, 180, 170, 180, and they're in a good position now to push on above that, hopefully towards the 200 mark.
Right, here comes Somerset's principal wicket taker, leading wicket taker in this tournament right now. Ben Green into the attack, 20 wickets already for the Devonian, bred in Exeter. Doing a terrific job for Somerset. That is delicate and delightful from Das.
Yeah, this batting partnership could be tough for Somerset. You've got Das with the light touch and fast hands, and then Paul Walter who's just going to stand and deliver. Looks exciting in the next few overs to see how they progress with this partnership.
Big crowd here really enjoying that. That is delicate.
That's 4 more again, fantastic shot.
Great reading of that slower ball from Green. Saw it come out the back of the hand. Das goes forward by 4.
Yeah, if Essex can push on through this pass, now we're past the opening power play, and keep the boundaries coming, they'll put themselves in good stead for later on towards the back end of the innings.
Do you think there's unnecessary pressure on the batters for the power play?
I think it's a great opportunity to score runs, but sometimes you've got to give credit to good bowling. And you see off the good balls, the opportunity to score will come later in the innings. If you're in, if you're out, you can't score any runs, can you?
Sure. Again, that slower ball from Green. Nicely done. Recovering is over. What's he got left to finish with? How many times do we see this 6 ball decide your feelings of your over? He's going to be facing Paul Walter for the first time.
Oh, he's dropped that. He's definitely got a hand on that.
Get fingers on that. A couple of runs have ensued. Another ball to come, of course. Didn't get my abacus out there. Walter again to face. Block ball from Green. So 11 off the over.
Well, this video back to Green Scott. This time playing away at Phil Ness. I think it's fair to say I really imagine we've got to win this prize for this one.
Interesting to see when Van der Merwe will come into the mix. Just looking now, yes, I think it's going to be the South African now. So no. Davey back on.
Yeah, I suspect Van der Merwe will come on from the river end with that bigger leg side boundary. What he hasn't factored in is that you've got a left-hand, right-hand combination. You've got a bowl either. So that short boundary either. Anyway.
Davey to Das, and Das puts it through extra cover in a perfect line to our commentary position. That was a delight to watch.
What I call an old-fashioned cricket shot.
Proper cricket shot.
That's 4 runs in any game of cricket, whatever you're playing. Did give himself a little bit of room, but yeah, fantastic shot.
See the step out to leg to make sure the angle was there. In a perfect line. Again, Essex opening the over with a boundary. This time, just manipulates it the other side.
4 more.
Sense of deja vu from the 21-year-old. That big innings against Gloucester to start, and since then, well, 31 not out in the Sussex game, nothing really to write home about since, and of course that golden duck against Glamorgan, but bouncing back, some stylish shots to keep Essex on the move here. 29 off 15, no, 33 off 16 now. Essex run rate now moving up towards the 10s, which you would think on this relatively small ground, of course, would be what they're going to be aiming for. The bouncer to Das Merckx.
He's got the no ball.
Oh, he got the no ball, did he? I can't believe it. Ben Debenham's arm is a flapping.
No, it might not be a free hit because it's overhead high.
Oh, I beg pardon, yeah. You can see the exasperation in Davies' face when he saw the call. That was mighty close. Shades of Harry Brooks in the Ashes there. Walter just checking his younger teammate is settled and back in focus. Comeback from Davey, having given up the 2 boundaries to start this over. The single and the no ball, of course, since. Now the deciding factor when he faces up to Paul Walter.
Yeah, it's Paul Walter, the extra ball at the over. Let's see how he copes with that, because that's often one thing I've looked at as a stats person when I was bowling. But what did that extra ball go for when you bowl a wide or a no ball?
Just a single will be happy enough for the Somerset crew as Essex move to 75 for the loss of 3. 8 overs done. A rare Monday night cricket extravaganza here at the Cloud County Ground, known for the Friday nights, but I'm told Monday is the new Friday, so let's wait and see what happens. Das 34 off 20 and Walter 29 off 15, so both batsmen in as Lewis Gregory brings himself on for the first time from the River End. Gregory's such an experienced performer, of course. Taken the T20 captaincy for Somerset, but of course was the winning captain for Trent Rockets in last year's 100. 2 of his principal bowlers, of course, on the other side tonight, Daniel Sams and Sam Cook. outside edge, fortuitous for Paul Walter. That's the way it goes. It's still a batsman's game, right?
T20 definitely a batsman's game. He's had a good swing at that thick outside edge, straight over sort of the short third man, 4 runs down to where we're commentating from, and the batter walks down, pats the wicket down, and off we go again.
Now to see the swing of the bat going out towards mid-on. Through on the full, Walter able to take that into the covers. Still wondering whether that was above waist height, but 6'7", that's quite a way to go.
It's got to be a high full toss to get above Paul's waist. That's a law I've always wanted to change. I think it should be stump height. Anything above stump height.
So it doesn't matter on the...
Doesn't matter how tall you are, does it?
Okay.
And it's much easier for the umpires to give.
Well, certainly for square leg to give. It's very obvious then. Gregory to Robin Das.
Yeah, it's certainly been one of my recommendations. The laws, the powers that be, who write the laws of cricket. It's just an easy way of giving it, rather than having an inconsistent height depending on the batter's height.
Hoik of village standard from Robin Das, and he knows it, berates himself internally. So if the cricket genie allowed you one law to change overnight, what would it be?
Oh, I'd get rid of man-cats, without a doubt.
I don't think you'd be on your own there.
Does
that get your gander up? Das smacks it. Well, if the first one was a sighter, the second one certainly went where he wanted to.
Yeah, it's one of those laws. It's in the game. It's in the laws of the game. But I don't agree that you can get someone out without bowling a ball. Yeah, you can be timed out. I've never seen it in my life. But to be run out without facing a ball by the bowler at the non-striker's end just doesn't sit well with me. You haven't done anything to achieve that wicket, and I think there's other ways around it. If the umpires are concerned with a batsman trying to steal ground, introduce a penalty. Take it off the batter's score, take it off the team score. If you take it off a batter's score, they're soon going to stop trying to steal ground, aren't they?
Yep.
To run someone out without actually bowling the ball, it doesn't sit well.
Rilla van der Merwe's debut in this particular match from the Hayes close end, bowling to Paul Walter. Ball to Ben Green. Green's single over thus far haven't cost 11. Quite often will come back in a little bit later. Walter has sent that way towards the pavilion for the maximum. Well, 4 sixes already for Paul Walter.
I could see he wasn't going to let Van der Merwe settle into a rhythm. I thought he was going to attack the shorter Hayes close end, but he's decided to take on the longer boundary and cleared it by a country mile.
Fascinating when you see an operator like Rilla van der Merwe, 38 years of age now. Such an operator, knows this game inside out, leading wicket taker I think during the inaugural South African T20, of course when he played with Adam Rossington, the Essex Eagles wicketkeeper, the victorious Sunrisers East Cape side. Das trying to go straighter again. That slow left arm, much as he's gone for 8 runs already. It's such a way of breaking so many batsmen, just putting a bit of a hold on, and that's why the likes of Walter and Das will not want to sit back against him. Great field.
Yeah, he's looking to get everything underneath Paul Walter's bat here. He's not going to give him any sort of length to get underneath it. He's just trying to dart them in as full as he can and sort of take Paul Walter's reach out of it.
Tempting. Getting through on the full, but only giving up the single. And just 9 runs from that opening over from Vandermerwe. So we're halfway through. 10 overs done. Essex now 93 for 3. Big recovery from that very disappointing start to lose their top 3 batsmen inside the opening 3 overs. Right, so we head into the second half of the Eagles innings. What do you think the target will be in Simon Harmer's mind right now?
Right now, I think as a batting unit, they're thinking 100 off 10 and over. Wickets in hand after the recovery from the poor start. Yeah, you've got to go at least 10 and over, so 190.
Okay, and Green back into the attack again, getting into Paul Walter's block hole, but able to run very well to pick up the 2. Fielder on the, well, leg boundaries it is to Paul Walter out by the flats. Couldn't get in fast enough, and in the end Ben Green had to sprint out to field off his own bowling. He'll take a little recovery time, should we say, I think.
That's hitting that ball into the pockets here.
Walter not getting all of that, thick inside edge.
Yeah, the pockets towards the scoreboard at the far end of the ground. That's still a long boundary down towards us in the commentary box towards the corner of the close end, and out into the far corner towards the river. That easy 2s, you don't have to hit the ball hard, and you can run teams ragged just by running well and picking up the 2s and then giving yourself opportunities to take the boundaries.
Still a fairly warm evening here. It's been 27, 28 in Chelmsford today. Das swings high and hard. Anything Paul Walter can do on the other side, Robert Das can do on this.
And he split the fielders beautifully there, straight in the middle of them, so there's no chance for him to get to the ball.
Das swings high and hard to the pads of Das, swinging it away. What's the response? This is the confidence now that you see in young players. There's no panic. You know, you lose 2-3 early wickets. It's just playing a natural game. They're so used to playing this format now. On the full, Walter sends it to the car park. Half century for Tall Paul. 26 balls, sorry Graham, just putting the stats out, that's impressive.
Low full toss, he's just got underneath that and timed it, there's no effort in that hit.
Just look at the ball to Das, this would have been Yorker level, or maybe it's come through a bit higher than I thought, but deposited by Walter. Oh, and it's gone. Well, all good things come to an end, but that is a very disappointing end for Walter. Tom Kohler-Cadmore, the catcher. A very impressive half-century once again from the big man, but he will be very frustrated that he can't take that momentum into the second half of this inning.
Yeah, if Paul Walter was in there at the end of the innings, we'd be looking at a big score. New man coming to the crease, it's going to take a bit of time, a few balls just to get into the rhythm of striking the ball. So it's a good blow for Somerset right now, and time for us to rebuild again and get another partnership going.
Matt Critchley, new man in, but just see how Walter fell, almost on the full, reaching for the ball, slicing it straight into the hands of Cola Cadmore.
A yard either side of the field, that's 4 runs, unfortunately straight to him. And going back to your earlier point, young players walking in and playing this format again. I remember when this started, I had various roles. I'd often hit a 6 and then get out, and I'd soon get told off it's a 6 and a single, whereas now it's 6, 6, 6, just go for as many as you can.
Well, there's a far more sense of risk and reward, I think, now, isn't there, with bats, when you're just allowed to go for it. We've seen that within the Essex group. That's the confidence that Anthony McGrath, Simon Harmer have with their team, particularly with these youngsters, the Dasses, the Peppers, the Walters, the Kushis, of course, at the top of the order. Doesn't always come off, and you have to be prepared to take failure occasionally, but they never seem to put the handbrake on. Critchley throws the ball.
Yes, it's being given that freedom to go out there and bat the way you can bat, and certainly when I was starting out, when the T20 competition started, it was hit a 6, take a single. Very, very different now, and I love it. That's the great way to watch the game. At the end of the day, it's entertainment, isn't it?
Absolutely right. Yeah. Wide ball. Van der Merwe just contemplating that one. You sure, Ump? You really sure? Ben Debenham had no problem with that call. Van der Merwe and Critchley just engaging in all-in wrestling before the next ball. Squirting that one down to fine leg. 48 now off 29 for Das. Once again, slow left arm, just calming things down from a fielding perspective.
Yeah, he's not given anything for Das to get under or hit, so he's only managing to scrape the odd single here, and the new batter coming in. Clever bowling from a very experienced cricketer, just putting a little bit of a squeeze on that new guy, and this partnership putting it under pressure straight away, and stopping the momentum from the Essex team.
Calming the scoreboard of recent overs anyway. Critchley to face. Again, going through on the full. Again, just picking up the single. More ball to come in this 12th over. Das moves on to 14-9, but once again a very good controlling over from Van der Merwe. Just 6 runs from it. It's right in the middle of this Essex innings. Is a very useful break for Lewis Gregory to be able to put on the opposition.
Yeah, I think it's the last 6-7 balls. We've only scored 6 runs. That's really taken the momentum out of the Essex batting, and now Critchley's got to get in. One of them's going to have to take the risk here and look to expand a bit more from this over. Dangerous times as a batting partnership, but also could prosper by getting off a few runs and building up the partnership as quick as they can.
Somerset skip brings himself back on for his second over. Das's half-century. A straight drive from the young man.
That's a very classy line. I've really enjoyed watching that tonight. Going into this phase, I was just to explain, it's a little phase in the game, 1 or 2 overs where if Somerset put the pressure back onto the Essex team and pick up a couple more wickets, suddenly 190, 200 becomes 150, 160.
So his second half-century of this T20 campaign.
Clever shot.
Once again, getting consecutive fours. How many times have we seen that already from Robin Das?
Just using that pace nicely. He's dropped it a bit short and just getting underneath it.
That's really increasing his profile, I think, and I know that's a very 21st century thing to say, but you know what I mean. People are so much more aware of him now, what he can do, and obviously with Dan Lawrence leaving at the end of the season, it'll be Cushy and Dash, you would think, competing for his place in all formats of the game, not just this T20.
From what I've seen tonight in other bits of clips and highlights and stuff, he's a classy player. He's got cricket shots and he can also manipulate the ball around the outfield. So a very exciting prospect for his future in this shorter format of the game.
His first class century, of course, here against Ireland. Good fielding. Henry putting his body to the block. So Dash moves up to 60. And Critchley at the other end, just keeping his young mate focused. Oh, that was a gimme. That's come straight down towards us once again. Lewis Gregory will be kicking himself with that. Such a controlled hook.
Well, he's tried to use that bigger boundary, and Das has counteracted that by hitting the ball into the right areas of the ground. Look at this, it's sort of a back of length. He's followed him and he's just helped it on his way. Fantastic to see. Clever batting.
It just amazes me always how quickly the sway, the momentum, the barometer, if you like, of these games can change.
Well, it's those little passages of the play, isn't it? Yeah. 1 minute they're on top of us because they've taken the wicket, and then a release of pressure, and suddenly dashes off running again.
Now, this will be fascinating as a consequence. Van der Merwe in for his third over. It's 15 runs from the opening 2. Critchley has to reach. Smeed struggles with it. That good running from the Essex batters there. Smeed just struggling in front of the pavilion to tame the ball.
I think that's Critchley's role right now. He's just looking to get the one and get Das back on strike. And if he gets an opportunity to score, then take it.
I mean, I know we haven't seen much of Tom Westley in this campaign, but you get the feeling Critchley has inherited that sort of role. Perhaps with a few more shots in his armoury than Westley might use, but that role in the middle of the innings, the middle of the batting lineup, so important.
Yeah, it brings back memories of watching the likes of Tender Scarter and Foster in the middle of the phase, running the team ragged and then hitting boundaries.
Well, any ball that goes that high should have a stewardess on it.
Yep, that one, there goes the spare ball bag for that. That's gone out the ground into the flaps over the far side. Maybe never to be seen again.
Yeah, I think you can see the suitcase coming back out there. Van der Merwe will be kicking himself. That was a full toss that came through in just the right position for Robin Das. Replacement ball on. Das quickly up to 70. striking at 194. Just pulling that one back a bit so that the sweeping extra cover drive didn't hit the middle. Wickets and an economy of 6.8 so far in this T20 for the South African. It's going at just over 8s at the moment in this one. So good over for the Eagles. 11-12 off it.
Yep, they're back on track now for the 190, maybe 200 if they keep going. Das needs to keep batting, and the others will just play around him.
When you get the likes of Daniel Sams coming in, who is the prototype Graham Napier of this side, you know, that's, you would expect to be heading towards 200 if that, I put it, if that structure can occur, and he's been given the time to do it, and Das stays in.
Yep, when a man's in, batting away, scoring runs like this, the other's just going to come in, they're going to play around him, and then Sams comes in, we know he can hit the ball. Yep. He just needs to get a few balls under his belt, get himself in, and off he goes.
The black cap, Matt Henry, back into the attack. A couple of overs, went for 12, of course, picked up the wicket of Michael Pepper early doors. Das going high, but he hasn't gone far enough. Henry picks up the wicket off the first ball of this new spell. It's Van der Merwe, you can't keep the man out of the action. Great innings though from Robin Das. 72 off 39 balls. Just what Essex Eagles needed at that particular time, and he's put them in a great position now to press on for a big score. Listen to the appreciation of this big crowd here at Chelmsford.
Yeah, Henry's taken forward back of a length, and Das has taken on that longer boundary and not cleared it straight to Van der Merwe and ended the innings. But I think that's a superb innings from Das. Great to watch. Sets it up nicely for Sams to come in. Bit of time just to get himself in, and then hopefully he can get himself off and running and scoring the boundaries thick and fast.
Mind you, if it's anything like it was at Lord's yesterday, it was boundary off the first ball. To an Aussie, just going to take the single. Shy from Ben Green, and there's one rule that I would change immediately.
And why would that?
As soon as the ball hits the stumps, it's a dead ball.
But Fielder's thrown it at the stumps.
Exactly, and
if
he's been accurate enough to hit the stumps, then why should he be penalised? I don't get it.
I disagree with you on that one. I think if the ball's hit the stumps and it's live play, it's live, isn't it? And then the skill comes in. If there's a run-out chance, you've got to scoop all those stumps out in one go.
I think it penalises the accuracy of the fielder unnecessarily. There we go. The extra run is there. Sam's back to face. Squared up. So Antipodean mate.
Yep, Henry's bowling the ball quite heavily into the pitch here. I couldn't tell if that was a cross seamer or not, but the way it sort of reared up a little bit, it might have been a cross seamer or a cutter.
He had a 6-year absence from international duty before his return to the Black Caps. Goes Fuller, Sam's on the drive, but only the single. Essex approaching the 150 now. Almost even pace now. 10 runs and over. 2 balls left of the 15th. Just see Matt Henry's wrist cocking back for that slower ball. Richly read it well.
Yeah, it's often a tactic used on bigger boundaries, slower balls into the pitch, make them hit without the pace on the ball to the bigger boundary.
Yep.
So somehow the batter's got to counteract that hit somewhere else.
Again, Henry looking for the block hole again. Sam's able to drive it away. That's a good over, good return over from the Kiwi. 1 wicket for 5 runs in that, 2 for 17 now of his 3. So 3/4 of the Eagles' innings is done. This is going to be a fascinating 5 overs. Van der Merwe only has 1 left. Henry only has 1 left. Ben Green is quite often the death bowler for Somerset.
Yeah, this over here, if Essex can take 10 off this over, close the Van der Merwe out, sets them up nicely for those last 4 overs with pace on the ball.
Oh, Van der Merwe just teasing Daniel Sams into the wrong shot. And terrific bowling from the South African. Not going to be for Sams today. Van der Merwe catching Das out, now bowling Sams out, and pushing Somerset into a stronger position now with their hosts at 148 for 6. That was a delightful loop, wasn't it, to see the arc of this.
Yeah, he's just fired that in full, hasn't he? Sam's given himself a bit of room and missed a straight one. We've all done it. Unfortunately for Essex, that sets up the last few overs. Van der Merwe certainly, it is his last over, looking to bowl it and finish it off tidily.
Will Buttleman in, man who is yet to give up his wicket in this T20 campaign. Immediately brings out the reverse sweep. Renowned batter, of course, used to batting higher up the order, certainly in the red ball.
What is it with wicket keepers and reverse sweeps? James Foster did the same all the time.
Yeah.
They just have this knack to play it. I could never play it myself, but
you didn't need to.
First ball, crikey. It certainly opens up the other side of the field for a batter.
Oh, that one stung. Yeah, and I think Van der Merwe has hurt himself there. That doesn't look pleasant. Immediately calling for some help.
He's dislocated it. Ouch, ouch.
Yes, don't want to see that.
That's a nasty blow for Van der Merwe, dislocating his finger by the looks of it. Oh, right on the end of his finger. The physio's just giving him some treatment. I hope it's not too bad an injury.
He's going to put it back in. Don't look now, but it's his right hand, so he's... Oh, look at that.
He's obviously done that before. The way he's recovering from that, he's used to that happening, I reckon.
It's his right hand, I think, that was it?
Oh, there's a bit of blood. There's a bit of blood there as well, I think, so he must have cut it as well.
Oh, that was not nice to see. It's his right hand, isn't it? Fingers are not meant to point that way.
No, there's only one person I've known with fingers like that, and that's Andy Flower.
Oh, really?
And his were permanently like that.
Really?
If he was pointing at you, you didn't know which direction he was pointing in.
That from keeping wicket?
Just from keeping wicket, that must have broken all of his fingers over his career, and his fingers are always permanently bent. Yes, that's not a pretty sight, and hopefully he's made a recovery from that. I wouldn't wish injuries on like that to anyone.
It is his left hand, isn't it? He was looking at his right hand when he first came up.
Yeah, the physio's cleaned. I think it was a little bit of claret there. He's cleaned it up, taped it up, maybe just to close out this over. Whether he can bowl with a bit of tape on, I don't know.
Guys are just checking this. I have no idea what the legality or otherwise is. Ali springs to mind, but
that's right on his bowling finger. This will be an interesting scenario, because if he can't close out the over, someone else has got to bowl the 3 balls. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they have to bring someone else on to bowl the next 3 balls, or he's just going to get on with it, which is very tough.
Looks like he's going to try and get through. He's taken that plaster off.
I imagine he's going to try and bowl off one finger here, his index finger, rather than it looks like the middle finger that he's hurt.
This will be interesting to see where it goes. I'm not sure the sat-nav on this ball is reset.
Yeah, he's trying to dry his hands on the grass because he must be in a lot of pain and sweating.
Critchley picks him up to send him straight back for 4. I don't think Somerset will mind too much as long as he can get through the next 2 balls. Look at his faces on the release. Critchley picks him up to...
Yeah, he's not comfortable here. He's got 2 balls to bowl. Can Essex capitalise on his unfortunate injury?
The pain was from the bowler. Critchley, just, well, some sympathy from his opposite number. That begs the question whether he's going to be able to hold the bat should he be required in the Somerset innings.
Well, just looking at the pain he's in there, I can't imagine gripping the bat too tightly. But he's a tough cookie. He'll probably come out if needed.
International, of course, for South Africa previously, now the Netherlands. Last ball of his spell. Waterman gets a big top edge, but I think that's safe enough. So Van der Merwe's spell is done.
Just something else to chuck in there.
Yeah.
Is the cut-off time. Yeah, will the umpire, obviously the umpire's going to add time for an injury, but he's taken his time between balls there with the finger injury. How is the cut-off going to be affected? And will Somerset be penalised for a slower over?
Good point. Last ball was Buttleman. Top edged him for 4. Let's look to see whether he's going off.
Yeah, the physio's down there just on the boundary edge. So cut-off time, I can't see it on that ball.
20:22. They've got 4 overs to get through in 14 minutes. Well, to start the final over.
Yeah, they need to start the final over on that time. So it should be okay.
Buttleman on 5, Critchley on 13, Matt Henry into his last over. Again, a wicket Keeper looking for a reverse ramp, scoop, paddle, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so that leaves, who does it leave to bowl the final overs? It's probably, Brooks got one, hasn't he?
Brooks has got one, Davies got two, Green's got two, Gregory's got two, so they have got a bit of flexibility within the roster.
That's a big top edge down to fine leg. The fielder's moving underneath it.
Gregory is there.
It's a good catch.
The captain was never going to miss that one. What's that, his third catch, I think, of the inning? And again, he's hurt that hand. Just counting to 10 in front of us is Lewis Gregory. Buttleman goes for the first time in this tournament.
Yeah, this Essex innings is just stalled again. Each time they get the momentum and then they're losing a wicket.
Gregory is there. Matt Henry picking up his third wicket. 3 for 18 now for the Kiwi.
Big important role for the skipper coming in, seeing the home side in to the end of the innings, and also capitalising on that good recovery from Paul Walter.
Dabs out to pick up the easy single to put Critchley back on strike.
Not forgetting Das with the recovery. That was a superb innings.
Yeah. 51 from Walter, 72 from Das. Recovering the Eagles' position from 15 for 3. Again, it goes through on the full. Critchley controlling that shot beautifully, descending through to the bottom of the Tom Pearce stand.
Yeah, that's probably the furthest part of the ground, and he's timed that all the way and split the fielders. As I said at the beginning, I think Somerset are looking for Essex to have to hit the ball to the bigger boundary in hope they can't split the fielders or take on fielders. So they're going to look to bowl full and straight at leg stump or into the pitch.
Henry to Critchley. Good fielding. Point. Again, seems to be hands that are. What's that, knees? Somerset seem to be taking a few hits in the field, should we say?
Well, with the schedule of it, how it is, it must wrap havoc onto the fielders, because the outfields have gone from being wet and soft to rock hard in a short space of time. And as a bowler or as a fielding, it's just hard work in this format, because you're constantly required to dive around. It was one of the aspects I didn't enjoy at the end, was having to field and having to dive around and chase every single ball all the way to the boundary.
You're expected to throw your body into it, whatever.
Blood, sweat and tears were expected.
Oh yeah. Ben Green back into the attack. Reset his radar. Who was your Essex coach when you were playing sort of latterly anyway?
Well, I started off under Keith Fletcher, who's now president.
Yeah.
So Keith Fletcher and Jeff Arnold were the coach when I first started.
Jeff Arnold, GG.
Yeah. And then sort of Gucci stepped in for a little bit. And then Paul Grayson, and then finally Chris Silverwood when he took over the mantle. And all of them good coaches, but Chris Silverwood just enjoyed the time with him. Fletch, an amazing cricket brain, just phenomenal cricket brain. But Spoon's probably got the best out of me as a cricketer towards the back end of my career, certainly as a bowler.
And was Mags there as assistant at that point?
That's
squirted through point, beautiful shot from Critchley.
Yeah, so Max came in as the assistant, and obviously Spoons went on to the England setup. But just a fantastic coach, a fantastic guy. They both are. But yeah, really enjoyed my time working with Spoons. Yeah, Spoons was in the second team coach when I was sort of in and out of the first team at times, and he just kept everything so simple for players.
Dropped short to Critchley.
Yeah, and then sort of 2008, when that innings happened, we had that great season. We won the, I think it was the Friends Provident Trophy, the 50 over competition at Lord's final under Paul Grayson. And then my early part of my career with Fletch, and we won several trophies. I think it was 97, 98 we had trophies, so it was nice to come into a side and be part of it.
Palmer slashes hard. Nice shot from the Eagles captain. Shane Snater enjoying that bit. Next man in, of course. Palmer really shown his prowess with the bat this season. 21 not out in Sussex.
Yeah, they're definitely bowling the ball wide outside that off stump for that short leg side boundary. Well, that one they've gone full and straight. They played a double bluff on the batter.
There's any trick possible now for bowlers, isn't it? Just to get into the minds of the batters.
It's so difficult bowling here at this stage of the innings. If the ball's not moving in the air or off the pitch, it makes it so much harder as a bowler.
Right. Last ball of the 18th.
Oh, that's run out.
Oh, Simon Harmer looks to the heavens and goes, really?
The bowler's got a hand on that, off a good strike, and run the non-striker out. It was out of his ground.
Green brewing that run out. Another Somerset finger gets bent back, but another wicket on the scoreboard. The Eagles lose their 8th wicket at 176. Now, well, that 190 target you mentioned earlier, Graham, may be more relevant, should we say, with Snater, the number 10, now in to join Critchley.
Yep, gets a hand on it. Unlucky, or you could say has the bowler deliberately done that. I used to try and do it, run the risk of a single if you get the run out, but it's unlucky for the non-striker, and clever work from the bowler.
So Snater to face Davey from the Hayes close end. Talk whether Shane Snater was going to be on international duty with the Netherlands playing tomorrow in Harare, coincidentally against Zimbabwe.
What time's the last flight out tonight?
Yeah. Well, Van der Merwe was the other one, of course. Now he's a Netherlands international, but they're playing for their counties. Critchley looking for 2. Snater going, oh, Snater's run himself out there. Well, we've kind of had that scenario before for Shane Snater, and he's only been in and not faced. Has he faced a ball? I don't think he has. Well, disappointment for Shane Snater. Sam Cook now has to do a job for Essex. They have to see through the next 11 balls to make sure they set a competitive target.
Yes, you've got to make sure that Essex face all these balls that are remaining and try and score at least one a ball to put up a competitive score for tonight.
Local lad Sam Cook now in as number 11. He's used to swinging the willow on occasion. Davey comes in to bowl to him. Farming the strike to Matt Critchley. Critchley now 23 off 17, and you would think it'll be down to Critchley as to how competitive this target is for the league leaders. Davey bounces it in to the Essex middle order man, and the single is the only real option.
Yeah, we've got to take the runs they give us in this over. Leaves us with a shorter leg side boundary for the last over. So I think that's could be quite important to maximise our scoring opportunities. Yeah, just take the runs they give you and then set it up for the last over.
Cook to face up. Thoughts of looking for the double on that one.
Yeah, it's criminal not to face every ball in a T20 game, to be bowled out short, certainly setting. Very, very important.
2 balls left in this over. Somerset have got 3 minutes to make the cut-off, so they should be okay, you would think. Critchley to face. David goes into the block hole again. Is that, no, that, I beg pardon, lost count. That is the last ball, so no problems with the cut-off for Somerset. Now we go to the final over. It's going to be Ben Green to bowl it. 181 for 9. They're going to be looking over 190, right?
I think take 190 would be, sorry, yeah, over 190 would be a good score. They're going to bowl outside the off stump, pretty much on the wide line, I reckon, trying to stop the batter from hitting to that shorter boundary. Personally, I'll be lining it up nice and straight, the hose close, as a short punch down the ground, combat them by batting outside the crease and on the off stump maybe. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes about this in this final over.
Field settings pretty much de rigueur for the final over. Long off, cow shot. Man on the cover boundary, that is a great shot from Critchley.
Great way to start the last over, 4th the first ball. Swings the pressure straight back onto the bowler.
Man on the cover boundary, that is a great shot from Critchley. Again, Critchley goes hard, but this time it's the outside edge, and the Eagles fall with 4 balls left. Critchley desperately trying to muscle more runs out of that final over, but credit to Ben Green, just holding that ball back, deceiving the batsman, and Essex not able to use up the entirety of their 20 overs.
Yeah, I fear they're sort of 10 runs short of a par score for tonight. Just the fastness of the outfield, good pitch. So yeah, 10 runs short possibly. We'll only find out at the end of the game.
Right, you have duties to do on the pitch. I will just wrap up this innings, which started so disastrously for the home side. Coochie for 1, Lawrence for 8, and Pepper without scoring, all going inside the first 3 overs, but then a partnership of 94 between Das and Walter rescuing things. Walter eventually falling after just going through for his half century, 51 of 27 balls. Das following shortly afterwards, 72 off 39, very impressive runs from the youngster. And then the Essex tail falling away a bit, Sams for 4, Buttleman for 5, Harmer run out for 6, Snater for 1, and then Matt Critchley going right at the end to leave the score at 182 is the final tally. I'm just looking to getting the final score on that one. But, well, 186, I beg your pardon. 186 all out, Essex setting the target for league leaders Somerset. Join us back in 10 minutes. We'll see how they respond. since, and of course that golden duck against Glamorgan, but bouncing back. Some stylish shots to keep Essex on the move here. 29 off 15, no, 33 off 16 now. Essex run rate now moving up towards the tens, which you would think on this relatively small ground, of course, would be what they're going to be aiming for. Bouncer to Das Merckx.
He's got the no ball.
Oh, he got the no ball, did he? You can't believe it. Ben Debenham's arm is a-flapping.
That might not be a free hit because it's overhead high.
Oh, I beg pardon, yeah. You can see the exasperation in Davies' face when he saw the call. That was mighty close. Shades of Harry Brooks in the ashes there. Walter just checking his younger teammate is settled and back in focus. Comeback from Davey, having given up the 2 boundaries to start this over. The single and the no ball, of course, since. Now the deciding factor when he faces up to Paul Walter.
Yes, Paul Walter, the extra ball of the over. Let's see how he copes with that, because that's often one thing I've looked at as a stats person when I was bowling. But what did that extra ball go for when you bowl a wide or a no ball?
Just a single will be happy enough for the Somerset crew as Essex move to 75 for the loss of 3. 8 overs done. A rare Monday night cricket extravaganza here at the Cloud County Ground, known for the Friday nights, but I'm told Monday is the new Friday, so let's wait and see what happens. Das 34 off 20 and Walter 29 off 15, so both batsmen in as Lewis Gregory brings himself on for the first time from the River End. Gregory's such an experienced performer, of course. Taken the T20 captaincy for Somerset, but of course was the winning captain for Trent Rockets in last year's 100. 2 of his principal bowlers, of course, on the other side tonight, Daniel Sams and Sam Cook. Outside edge, fortuitous for Paul Walter. That's the way it goes. It's still a batsman's game, right?
T20 definitely a batsman's game. He's had a good swing at that thick outside edge, straight over sort of the short third man, 4 runs down to where we're commentating from. And the batter walks down, pats the wicket down, and off we go again.
Now to see the swing at the bat going out towards mid-on. Through on the full, Walter able to take that into the covers. Still wondering whether that was above waist height, but 6'7", that's quite a way to go.
It's got to be a high full toss to get above Paul's waist. That's a law I've always wanted to change. I think it should be stump height. Anything above stump height.
So it doesn't matter on the...
Doesn't matter how tall you are, does it?
Okay.
And it's much easier for the umpires to give.
Well, certainly for square leg to give. It's very obvious then. Gregory to Robin Das.
Yeah, it's certainly been one of my recommendations. The laws, the powers that be, and who write the laws of cricket. It's just an easy way of getting it, rather than having an inconsistent height depending on the batter's height.
Hoik of village standard from Robin Das, and he knows it, berates himself internally. So if the cricket genie allowed you one law to change overnight, what would it be?
Oh, I'd get rid of man-cats, without a doubt.
I don't think you'd be on your own there.
Does
that get your gander up?
Any part of the ground now, and I think that's a massive difference in the belief in players. Just hit a six, hit another six. There's only a few players that think like that, and I often get told off hitting a six and then getting out, going for another six. But now just keep hitting six after six and see how far you can go. Brilliant. And in terms of the club itself, a number of young players to finish up. Who's really catching your eye at the moment? Well, that innings by Das was, I thought, was very, very cricket savvy, very smart. The way where he scored the runs, he's definitely one to watch out. Brilliant. Cheers, Nate. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the legend that is Graham Napier. Thanks, Nate.
Oh, welcome back to the Essex stream. As Essex look to defend 186. So 9.4 the required run rate for Somerset. I have good memories of chasing things last time. It was Tom Abel, of course, and Riley Rousseau, no longer in the Somerset camp, who put on whatever it was, 150, I seem to remember. So Essex obviously looking to get into this Somerset lineup as early as possible. Tom Banton, the wicket-keeper, will be facing first. Sam Cook, the man with the ball in his hand. So here we go. Drifts down leg side to start with. Buttleman, of course, the keeper for Essex in the absence of Rossington. Buttleman been in position since that Kent game at Canterbury, and of course also in the red ball against Somerset in that championship game last week. Been in some good form with the ball, taken a dozen wickets, economy a little bit higher than he might like at 8.73. Had a few forfers back to back, which is always quite a feat in this particular campaign. Looking to get that little ramp, the reverse ramp down the leg side. Essex do have a man at short fine leg. Whether that would have cleared him, who knows. Robin Das is the man operating there. Shot from Banton to open his account. He's been averaging just shy of 40 so far, highest score of 54. Renowned, of course, in this sort of format around the world. For England, for Worcestershire in the 100 as well. Made his maiden first-class 100 here last year, so it'll be popular surroundings for him. I'm Simon Ward. once again delighted to be rejoined by Graham Napier. Napes, you went out and spoke to the crowd during the interval. That was quite some reception.
Yeah, very warming. Always here at Essex. It's such a nice place to come. Really do miss being out in the middle here. It's such a good atmosphere.
Does he get the juices going again?
I did a little bit when I was out in the middle earlier on at the start of the game. I just look around and just think, oh, what a great atmosphere. What a great place to come and play cricket.
Sam Cook for Will Smead to face his first delivery. Will Smead, of course, now on a white ball only contract. Quite some cricketer with the bat. Just 21 years of age, so really just starting his formative career around the world, of course, which is what the white ball only contracts allow people to do. And that is a good opening over from Sam Cook. Just 5-6 off it, I beg your pardon, with the wide at the beginning.
How times have changed. A white ball contract at the age of 21.
Yep.
Back when I started a long time ago, we're talking 1997, you were contracted as a first class cricketer, and then you played what was red ball back then, and then no one ever thought of having a white ball contract on its own.
It's a possible career now, isn't it? You can have separate careers as red ball or white ball now around the world.
My one concern about just a white ball contract, when you're out of form, how do you find your form? And I think time in the middle, as a bowler or batter, overs under the belt, runs in the middle, just help you find your form.
Daniel Sams opening things up from the river end. Banton goes straight. Shot from the Somerset opener. Just in the slot there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they look like they're targeting straight early on. Essex have to be aware where they might be wanting to score their runs and trying to counteract that.
Come back from Sams. Sams has been impressive with ball and bat through this season. 16 wickets he's taken. Economy just a nudge over 7.5.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen him live, and yeah, quite impressed with the nice easy run up into the crease.
Well, it's not only what he can do with ball and bat, it's his fielding as well. He's such an athletic man. Is it gone? Will Buttleman was semi-rejoicing.
Nothing from the bowler.
No.
Mid-wicket ran in with a bit of a shout. I think that's Das at mid-wicket, but no, nothing from the bowler, which tells you generally he didn't think he hit it.
No. Certainly John Banton had no thoughts of walking. A close one, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like a tiny bit of in-swing to the right-handed from Sams, but other than that, there's not a lot of movement off the pitch. And now the sun's setting. Doesn't look like it's going to be cool enough for a dew tonight, which used to affect the pitch slightly with these hybrid pitches. I don't know how they react as the sun sets.
Well, certainly that sort of dusk feel when you know, the floodlights have been on for a while, I know, but to try and keep that equality in vision. Always interesting to feel the difference as we hit night time. Smead dances down the wicket, but Daniel Sams gives him the knowing look, like Sams hasn't done that before.
I have to say, when I played here, the old lights, there was a definite difference between sunlight and then the transition into the lights, whereas these, they just look like the sun itself. They're dotted all around. They're really impressive. It's the first time I've seen them on here, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference to the batters.
I don't know the technicalities, but I think they're halogen lights, aren't they? Such is the brightness of them. Again, Sams goes past the outside edge 3 times. He manages that in his opening over. Somerset 11 without loss after the first 2.
That run rate's starting to creep up.
Early days, early days, that's all I'll say to that. And such experience within the format from the Somerset ranks. Shane Snater going to get the 3rd over underway from the Hayes Close end. It's really shown with ball or bat, particularly this campaign. Such a good year, of course, last year. Handful of wickets, no real runs to speak of, so plenty to do for the Zimbabwean.
That's a good start. And tonight could be his night. Hopefully he'll pick up some wickets and swing this match in Essex's favour. Of course, I'm very biased there.
Of course you are. You're allowed to be. I'm sure even Somerset fans would allow you that. Oh, Banton cuts hard and boundary down to behind point. Yeah, I'm going to make a call now to say thank you to an old mate of mine, Kevin Hands, for producing commentary on his own yesterday at Lord's. Always difficult when your team are struggling, but got the positives out, watched the game with both eyes. And, in this world where we're so susceptible to the keyboard warriors and the trolls, kudos, Kev, for what you achieved last night on your own. Smead yet to get off the mark. Smead swings through it. An easy swing to bring up the first maximum of the innings for the visitors.
Yeah, he's picked that up nicely. That's gone into the flats, and any bit of movement that we have with that ball might have gone if we get it back. It looks like the umpire's gone straight to the spares. That's gone out the ground.
Well, as you say, it's de rigueur at Chelmsford, isn't it? It's one of the smaller grounds on the circuit, renowned for losing the odd ball or 4. Smead eventually breaks the bagel in style. Snater. And again, it's repeated. Deja vu for Will Smead. And already Snater's figures not looking appetising in any sense of the word from an Essex perspective. The Dutch international unable to get the ball out of the arc of Will Smead.
Will Smead's just looking at that short boundary, and that's as a bowler you've got to try and keep the ball either off the stumps or try and maybe go back of a length, take pace off. Got to try something to get them from hitting you on towards that the short boundary.
17 off 5 balls thus far. Feroz Kusi just being pushed back onto that leg side boundary, but if he swings hard enough, there's no stopping him, and there goes another one. Comes through on the full 3 successive 6s from Will Smead, and no problems for the visitors now. Snater goes for 23 in his opening over, and the number 23 of the visitors benefiting from that full bunger coming through.
Yes, he's looking dangerous, and Essex need to come up with a plan to get him out.
Sam Cook changing ends. As I say, just 21 years of age, Smead, playing for Birmingham Phoenix in the 100, beginning to make his name known around the world in the white ball formats. Cambridge boy, or born in Cambridge but brought up in Taunton, and you look at the CV that reads Bengal Tigers, Deccan Gladiators, Quetta Gladiators, MI Emirates, and you see the career that he's beginning to build for himself around the world.
Oh, it's going to be a no ball.
Well, there was no way that Sam Cook was going to let him drive that one, was there? Through this power play, 37 without loss at Somerset.
Yeah, Essex needs to squeeze a few dot balls here somehow, put a bit of pressure back onto Somerset. And in this format, the more dot balls you bowl, the more chances you'll get of taking a wicket.
Cook just drawing the pace back off that one. About Paul Walter's confidence earlier with the ball. Sam Cook similarly seems to really discovered his mojo within the white ball game.
Yeah, I think he was just predominantly looked at as a red ball bowler.
Exactly,
but he's got a good skill set on him.
Smead
spoke too early
uppercuts
there.
that one for 6. Number 4 for the Somerset opener.
Somerset are definitely using the pace on the ball a lot better here.
He's only got 1 in that Essex game at Taunton earlier on. Racing away to 25. Cook really bending his back for that one.
Yeah, and that's that back of a heavy length that he's bowled. With the bigger boundary, the batsman's sort of thinking twice about taking it on early on.
Cook 17 of 11 balls so far.
Good slower ball there. Deceiving the batsman.
Good finish then for Sam Cook. Somerset 4 overs done, 2/3 of the way in this power play, and the visitors getting everything from their power play that Essex Eagles didn't really get from theirs.
Yeah, they've got off to a flying start, and as I say, Essex got to find a way to put the brakes on, build some pressure, bowl some dots, get a wicket, and then squeeze any new batsman that comes into the wicket and make them face as much as they can without scoring.
Well, Harman looking for the variety, brings on Paul Walter. Tall left-hander, really increasing his mix of options with ball in hand. As I said, doing so well in the 100.
Just looking at the way that slower ball from Sam Cook reacts off the pitch, it could be the way forward. Take the pace off, don't give him the pace to hit the ball.